latest figures from the Office for National Statistics show that more than 9 in 10 adults have seen a rise in their cost of living in the past month, with about half saying they've had to cut down on food as a result.
Yeah, food prices are rising at the fastest rate in more than a decade. They show no signs of coming down. And this comes after Martin Lewis issued this warning on the programme last week about how bad the cost of living crisis is going to get this winter.
What we are facing is potentially cataclysmic. We are talking about millions, if not 10 million people moving into real poverty this winter. The worst winter we have seen, well, maybe since the 1970s and maybe before that in financial terms.
Sylvia Simpson is founder of the Money Buddies charity. She says she's seen an 83% rise of people in June needing their services. Sylvia, welcome to the programme. Can you tell us, in your experience, how are families managing at the moment? What things are they doing to change their behaviour? And is there more the supermarkets could be doing to support families at the moment?
Well, we're getting a lot of families that are struggling because of the cost of living and because of the increase in prices, not only with the utilities coming, but because of all their shopping as well. So our people, families that we're helping, they're having to shop more savvily and go to the cheaper shops as opposed to the normal local supermarket, making meals in bulk. They've started doing that. What more can the supermarkets do? Well, probably maybe not increase the prices so much. Is there any kind of offers that they can do on their own brands, for example? You know, because we know that the price of Lurpak's gone up so much to £9 plus per kilogram, but then the supermarket's own brands, a lot of them are just as good, to be quite honest.
I mean, it is remarkable, isn't it, Sylvia, that we've seen security tags on things like cheese, on Lurpak, on some of these items, you know, implying that people are so desperate for spread, for other items of food, that they might be, you know, pocketing them without paying for them. I mean, you know, the fact that we've got to that situation feels desperate already.
It is. It's very desperate. But, you know, not only is that happening in our local supermarkets where they've got security tags on meat for quite a long time. You know, we're getting clients, and we do a lot of work with the local police, and we had one police officer tell us that he'd pulled 2 people one night at 10 o'clock at night looking in people's bins, and he said, "Excuse me, lads, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, sorry, officer, I'm looking for food." You know, so this Martin Lewis is absolutely right. It's going to be cataclysmic. It's going to be the worst in my career that I've ever seen, and I've been doing it since 1996.
I mean, and that pressure on fuel prices, the cost for the supermarkets of transporting food around the country, around the world, the pressures in Ukraine and around the harvest, and the cost of fertiliser, which has gone up hugely. I think it's fertilisers and fuel which is really driving these higher food prices. That's all going to be here for months, isn't it? I mean, none of this is going to go away in a couple of weeks. I mean, this is here for this year.
No, none of it's going to go away at all. We're finding that more people are choosing insolvency options now as well to deal with their debts, because there isn't enough money left to pay the debts when you've spent all the money on the utility bills and the shopping and everything else that's gone up. And we're getting clients that's coming to us and saying, "You know what, I can't afford to go to work because the fuel's too expensive. I live in Leeds and I work in Doncaster." And, you know, and so it's affecting everybody. And that's people that's on good incomes as well. You don't have to be on a low income to be struggling with this. The things can change in an instant. One minute you've got a good job with a good income, and then the next minute it could be just gone. And you don't know what you're entitled to, and you don't know what your rights are, and you don't know where you're going to go from that time.
And of course, the government has issued help, but the iPaper is reporting this morning that millions could face delays of up to 2 weeks for cost of living payments. The accusation is that the government is too busy fighting amongst itself to ensure support. Now, more than 8 million people are due to receive £326 in their bank accounts from the 14th of July, which is Thursday. It's the first of 2 payments, but the DWP, the Department of Work and Pensions, says payments will not be handed out in one tranche. They'll be staggered across several weeks. So it could be not until August that some families are going to get help. What advice are you giving families, Sylvia, about how to budget right now?
We're saying, look, come and see us. You can only do what you've got with the money that you've got. Do your very best. Come and see us, or go and get free help. Don't ever pay for help, for advice. Go get free help and advice on what your options are. If you get into so much trouble with your utility company, for example, that they're thinking about, disconnection, come and get help. There are things that we can do, that debt advisors across the country can do to help you. So my advice is get advice.
And do you think the government will have to do more in the coming months to help families?
Yeah, it's not enough. It is not enough. There's people that are missing out. There are vulnerable people that might have an income but are still missing out. Yes, it helps. It does help. But more needs to be done. And I hope that, with the new government, that this is kind of recognised, that there is more that needs to be done. It's just not enough at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder, Sylvia, whether you despair when you see, you've got 11 candidates for Prime Minister. I wonder, sort of quite apart from any political allegiance, whether when you're at the sharp end of it, you think, we don't need distractions. We need people who are on top of policy right now.
Yeah. Yes, we do. We do need people that's on top of policy like right now. And we also need to make sure that they are the right people that will give the right help to the most vulnerable in society that need it.
Yeah, and you've got to feel sorry for the civil servants, haven't you, who are sort of battling on when all of this political psychodrama is going on. Sylvia, look, the work you do is remarkable, and your advice to get advice is very good advice. Thank you so much for joining us.
And the logistics of paying out these payments is really hard.
Yes.
Doing anything fast when you're talking about millions and millions of people, I mean, it is really challenging for the system.
Yeah.